Well, hi there. You guys want to see the life of an engineer? Well, here it is. Are you a learner looking for opportunities to participate in the real-world challenges? Look no further and join the smart city eThekwini Municipality. You are watching the right video, and welcome to the life of an engineer.
When I talk to people about what engineers do, I get some very funny answers. People tell me they drive trains or they fix cars, that kind of thing. But in reality, engineers are taught to take the laws of nature and use them for the benefit of mankind. And they're also taught to solve problems.
Veer Ramnarain became an engineer because he enjoyed problem solving that comes to play when helping people.
Engineering comprises of 4 separate professions, namely the artisan, the technician, the technologist and the engineer. In order for one to become an artisan, one would require grade 9 with relevant subjects. An artisan would study at a FET college and would undergo theory and practical testing. Once an artisan has undergone that testing, they would end up with what we call a trade, and when they do have a trade, they will then go into the work environment and do repairs and maintenance and operations of systems. An engineering technician requires grade 12 with maths and science subjects. Engineering technicians go and study at the University of Technology, where they do theory testing at the university, and then also they are required to do practical work experience in industry. Once they acquire and have completed both the theory and the practical testing, they end up with what we call a national diploma in engineering. Engineering technicians also work on maintenance activities on plant and equipment and do repair work as well, but they are a bit more complex in nature. An engineering technologist also studies at the University of Technology, and in order to enter there you need a grade 12 in maths and science. Engineering technologists end up with what we call a B.Tech in engineering. Engineering technologists work in a lot more advanced systems than what a technician would work with, and also work on plant and equipment. An engineer studies at a university. The entry requirements is grade 12 with maths and science. The entry requirements is quite stringent for an engineer, and hence the potential students are required to produce the best results in order to enter the university. They do end up with what we call an engineering degree, and when they enter the work environment, they're still learning at that stage, and it will take them some time before they're qualified to become professional engineers in terms of being registered with the Engineering Council of South Africa. Engineers are future thinking, they're innovative, and they design systems for the future.
Almost everything that we do every day brings us into contact with the work of engineers. Though you may not see the engineer, you see what they do. So you travel to work in the morning in a bus or a taxi or a car, or you fly in an aeroplane. Those were all designed by mechanical engineers.
Studying maths, technology and science is the only way to become an engineer, and this is how you can do it.
Being an engineer on this landfill has many roles and responsibilities. It goes down from the basics of managing resources. That's typical plant that we see in the backdrop are landfill compactors, articulated dump trucks, front-end loaders, And you can see by all this plant, it's typical plant that one would find on a construction site. With waste comes emissions, and emissions in the form of liquid and gas. And we tend to apply state-of-the-art treatment to these emissions. And we've recently made good progress in capturing landfill gas. For those who have done biology, you have organic compounds that break down to form heat and give off gases, and one of the gases here is the landfill gas. I've been involved in the landfill gas to electricity project, where I've designed gas extraction wells, an extraction system where we extract the gas from the landfill and we channel it for treatment. We take the gas, we use it as a fuel source, and we fuel an engine, a similar engine that you would find in a car or a truck. Instead of running off diesel or petrol, it runs off landfill gas. And we take that landfill gas, it produces a mechanical output through the engines, and it turns a turbine which eventually is converted into electricity.
Okay, Bonfries, not that I am, but celebrating 20 years of freedom nowadays, engineering is fun, interesting. Remember, eThekwini Municipality's vision is to become Africa's most caring and livable city. Look guys, there are no boundaries, just be yourself and work hard. Meet new friends from different races and see different cultures.
My name is Nandimiso Mtembu and I go to Greater North High School. My dream is to become an engineer because I do physical science and maths.
Basically, I got into engineering because I loved science, I loved maths, and it just so happened that I also had the willpower to go the extra mile and make sure that I put in the hard work to get into engineering. Civil engineering was one of the many choices that I wanted to pursue, but my mother was very influential in helping me to make a choice towards engineering, simply because it opens you to so many opportunities, and it's a career that's in demand in South Africa. I definitely had a keen interest, and here I am today. I've been exposed to great projects, projects with the value of over 10 million rand. I was really surprised as to the amount of authority that I also have on site with the knowledge that I've gained from university. The system we use here at eThekwini Municipality as road rehabilitation is we consult a PMS system which identifies which roads are of need of rehabilitation. That's when we go in and do a more detailed and visual assessment of the actual site, and then figure out the types of failures that are on that particular site. Today we were on Solomon Mahlangu Drive, which was previously known as Edwin Swales Drive. Basically, they were doing a mill and replace, which is basically the excavation of the current layer, which had failed, and then the replacement of it, which is called paving, of that layer with a new layer, which was proven to have been adequate for it through testing and visual assessments.
I want to build the car.
So engineers change our lives. There are also other aspects of engineering, like electronic engineering. The mobile phone or cell phone that you use, the TV you watch, the radio you listen to, the electricity, the lights that shine. That's the work of electrical engineers. So engineers are everywhere, and it really is an amazing profession because engineers have changed the lives of people, even in 100 years. If you think back 100 years ago, even in London, there were no flushing toilets. People used to bath in a bathtub in front of the fire, maybe once a week or once a month. And so you get those old sayings like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Because there was no bath and no taps, The water was taken from the outside, brought into the house in buckets. The bathtub was filled, usually the father bathed first, and then the mother, and then the children. So the last person to be bathed was the baby, and by then the water was filthy. And you couldn't see the baby, so the baby might be under the water. You throw the bathwater out the window, and out goes the baby. The road that you travel on, or the stormwater drain, or the canal, all designed by engineers. Even the buildings that you live in, like this office. We're on the first floor, suspended in the air. Nobody thinks about the floor that you're sitting on and why it doesn't fall down. Until, of course, something goes wrong. And then the engineer gets on the front page of the paper because the building collapsed or the dam collapsed.
We are trying to widen a section of the Mgeni River because there was a flood in 1987 which affected most of the business park area, the Mgeni business park area, the North Coast Road area, and there was major flooding, major damages to buildings, and therefore we are trying to streamline the river, because at that point where it floods is where the river narrows, basically bottlenecks, and that's why the river doesn't have enough capacity to flow. That's why it's a project where we're moving a lot of earthworks. It's not structurally inclined, but we're moving a lot of earthworks, and we are canalizing. When I say canalizing, I mean we're stabilizing the banks. I find the biggest concern is, how does it feel to be a woman in a male-dominated field? And that's the most intimidating thing, and that's what is the negative aspect of engineering for younger girls. And I think that, you know, just to get over that, they need to involve themselves at an early age, where I don't think you know, grade 9, grade 10, 11 learners know that they can actually approach companies that have engineering companies that can take them on as and work shadow them, so that they know exactly what's going on in the engineering world. And I'd like to encourage the younger girls and boys as well to actually play a bigger role in their lives, to invest more in their lives, and take on the responsibility of actually finding out more. The internet has a vast array of information that you can find about companies, and even the municipality. I mean, we are a big company that encourages students to get involved at school levels, at university level. We like to show them what engineering is about, and we've had a lot of students in our department, even under me as well. I've mentored quite a few.
There's something magical about water. I don't know what it is, but it just attracted me to every aspect of water, and the fact that it's so essential for life, because you can't live for more than 5 days without water, and that tells when you cut people's water off, or there's no water, they start getting hysterical and phoning you. So I've really spent most of my life in water and sanitation.
I'm a graduate civil engineer. I qualified from UKZN, Howard College in 2013. I've been employed with the municipality for around 1.5 years now, and at the moment I'm busy getting my site experience. Currently I am the engineer's representative on the project you see behind you, the reconstruction of the Bay of Plenty pier. In about 2007 and 2011 we had large storm events, and what had happened was the seabed actually eroded the sand levels on the pier. This created a hole on the southern end of the pier, which caused several of the piles to fail. Due to this failure, the pier has moved about 600 miles south. In order to stabilize the pier, what we're planning to do is reconstruct the last 80 meters of the pier. So basically, we're going to be removing the last 80 meters of the deck. We're going to be tying the piles together just to stabilize them, and we're going to be constructing a new wider concrete deck with deeper caisson piles. For those people who don't know what a caisson pile is, it's basically a steel tube that gets vibrated down into the sand, and we lower reinforcement down into the tube, and we trim the concrete up. Basically, it's a cost in situ caisson pile. I'm responsible for overseeing the works on sites, making sure it's going according to spec, it's going according to the drawings, that the contractor is producing work of appropriate quality according to our design specifications. For me, what motivated me to become an engineer is, well, a civil engineer in this case. Civil engineering projects, they're very public. And for example, if you look at something like a pier, for me, if I was involved in the project, whether it's the construction, design, administrating the contract, I was involved in it. And when the project is completed, you know, when you walk past it, I get a sense of achievement that, you know, I've actually contributed something to society, to better mankind. So that's one of the main reasons why what I enjoy most about engineering. One of the things I don't like is there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of monitoring contractors, a lot of people try to cut corners, so you always have to be on top of your game.
We are here at Konubia to highlight the importance of engineering work that we're currently busy undertaking as eThekwini Municipality. It's quite a very interesting engineering project under human settlement, where we're currently building houses of approximately 28,000 houses that we're going to be building in this particular project.
The delivery on this project is to construct infrastructure meaning roads to get to the site, stormwater to take the rain away, and wastewater to take the wastewater away. We're building 2,186 houses on this project. That's the scope of this project. During the construction of this project, we've experienced a lot of material where we had to cut down. In terms of, this was sugarcane. So when sugarcane grows, we have all the roots that tends to get into the ground. So we had to take away all of the material, approximately 3 meters of material on the entire site. We had to get rid of that. That was the first challenge we had, and we had to get rid of that, so we disposed of that elsewhere in our vacant areas. The other challenge we had, which is very exciting for us, we had to accommodate all of the different components in terms of bringing water to the site. This site has never been developed before. It is a greenfields project and it was sugarcane. So we had to bring in water, which is a pipeline right behind us. It is a 1 meter diameter pipe, and it is being constructed by a water and sanitation department. That provides water to our entire development. The other one was electricity. Right behind me there's electricity pylons where we had to get electricity to the site. In terms of the construction activities that's happening now, we started first with the roads, the roadworks, so we can get access to all of our units. We're constructing right now the stormwater drainage, and then we would construct the sewer pipelines. That's to take the wastewater away. Thereafter, what we do is we construct the actual units. Once the actual units are constructed, we've got play fields within the sites that we can use. And at the end of the day, this is a 18-month contract. After 18 months, once the entire development is complete, we hand over the units to beneficiaries that are approved by the Department of Human Settlements.
I have been seconded to work with SMEC, the consulting engineers, on the N2 M41 Mount Edgecombe interchange in Durban. This is a SANRAL project that is worth 816 million, and it's anticipated to take 3 years. I have been seconded there by eThekwini, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. This is an opportunity that will stay with me for the rest of my life, because the interchange will be there for the rest of my life and will serve the future generations. That is what I enjoy also about engineering. Engineering problems respond to meticulous following of set of rules that have been set up through research by other engineers before us. So what we're doing, we are applying all of those in order to solve current problems. However, it is about innovation, and we need to ensure that we come up with certain new things which are applicable to our times currently. The personal characteristics that are required in engineering is mainly mathematical skills, analytic skills, and following logic. Engineering is about that. You have to answer questions meticulously and make sure that everything that you have answered can be validated by someone else within the sector itself. So engineering is about working with your peers and working hard to ensure that you come up with the best results that is going to be collated by the rest of the people. The best way to be involved in eThekwini Municipality bursaries or internship is through the website www.durban.gov.za or through the Human Resources Department, which is located at City Engineers Level 3, or through the number 031-311-3111, where you can be able to be put through to Human Resources in order for them to give you information about the internships or bursaries.
eThekwini Municipality invites you to explore internships, bursaries that are available, and become part of our exciting future of engineering. Think outside of the box and apply technology to solve some of life's greatest problems. You can be what you want to be. Be prepared for the adventure. Be prepared to be yourself and get involved. Ask the right questions. Get to know the right people. The sky is the limit. Be you.